Welcome to another episode of Stu2, everyone. Bitcoin is looking strong once again and looking like it's wanting another run at that 100K level. So let's take a look at that very quickly, but I also want to touch on some altcoins that I think have good potential. Obviously going to take a look at XRP because everybody's loving XRP right now. I want to go over a few things to watch out for in the market and so on. So with that, I want to start by looking at Bitcoin's weekly chart. Obviously still holding the buy trend absolutely beautifully with the trend master indicator. Something to watch out for, I suppose, at this point. I mean, I personally like that the RSI is back into overbought territory because to me, in an uptrend, that's just showing that there's a lot of buying pressure, kind of like what we had back here, right? So yeah, I think it's this doesn't necessarily mean we're overbought. I think it's just showing that we have a lot of strength in the market. Obviously, yes, we do have a little bit of resistance yet, but something that I really like about what Bitcoin did is this little red candle here. The reason why I like this is just that now if we climb higher, we have some sort of structure in the chart. All we have to do is go very slightly higher, and we now are confirming a higher high on this trend, and that gives us a new higher low. So then that gives the market a little more breathing room, right? At least at that point, we have some sort of support building in the charts. So I want to see us, obviously, we have to break above 100K to get that kind of structure. And as if it turns into just a fake out and we close the candle below, then, you know, we're going to have to play it day by day kind of a thing. But if we do end up closing a weekly candle higher, then I love that we're showing just that little bit of strength and building that little bit of structure. So loving seeing that. Even if we pull back, obviously there is still support in the market. It's just that obviously we could see some significantly lower levels if we do lose that support level. Want to hop over to the 4-hour chart here. Loving what I'm seeing here. In my last stream that I did, I actually ended up, I think it was right after the stream, because we were trading somewhere around here, and I was talking about the potential short setup if we did get into the Stuber fib pocket, and we filled it perfectly. 786, 886. I ended up getting an average entry right in the middle there. Of that fib pocket. But you know what? We did hit my first take profit, and I did bump up my stop loss, and it's been stopped out on the rest since then. So that short has already come and gone. And honestly, I'm not as interested in playing that again just because we have actually gotten these candles testing above my Stuber fib pocket. You know, yes, it's absolutely possible that this Stuber fib is still a valid setup, and that, you know, technically we do still have a downtrend, right? After we broke this little bit of structure here, and, you know, even if you wanted to play it safe and say when we lost this structure here, either way, we did lose a higher low structure on this immediate trend here. And technically, we're in a downtrend until that changes. It is nice that yes, we created a new bottom for a range, because same thing on the way down, right? Lower low, lower low, lower low. This would be the lower high that ended up breaking, so we find nice support and take a run at resistance again. Beautiful price action, quite honestly. So at this point, the fact that we've now tested the Stuber fibs already, we already got one and actually even a second test on the 4-hour of that fib pocket. And you guys know from a lot of my streams, I talk about how I really only like taking that trade the first time. And usually I'm not even trading a 4-hour, guys. That was just one setup that I saw for a swing opportunity. Yeah, hit my first target. It never broke down and absolutely nuked. So whatever, on to the next one. Just my thinking right now is that since we're back in that fib pocket again, we never got that harsh rejection from that level. And yes, although I still think there's potential for this to be bearish structure, I just don't have as much faith in it anymore because we lost that first time movers advantage that I like to see. Yes, we are still struggling with the 886. So, I mean, if a candle body can't get above that, you know, if this next 4-hour candle can't close above this, then yeah, I'm still seeing reasons for this to be potential resistance. Maybe we don't break 100K. So we're just going to have to see what happens. I just, you know, it's just something worth being cautious about because I know that a lot of people love playing breakouts and a lot of people love getting FOMO at these levels. And all I'm saying is it's not necessarily that we're going to crash from here. It's just, in my opinion, a good idea to be a little bit cautious as we're trading into resistance rather than, you know, buying resistance. I'm more so into buying support on an uptrend. Speaking of that, that actually brings me to my point about XRP. You guys, I know everybody is super excited with XRP, and honestly, it has strong momentum. I can't argue that fact. Absolutely, it has a ton of momentum. The thing is, for anybody who pays attention in any of my streams, any of my shorter videos like this, you know that yes, I'm usually looking at more of like a 5 minute, a 1 minute, a 4 hour, stuff like that. But look at this Fibonacci pull, you guys. That's a classic Stuber fib setup on a weekly time frame, and that is that first time movers advantage. And I was actually warning on my Twitter just the other day about this. I said, yeah, basically XRP FOMO is kicking in right at Stuber resistance. Look where I called that out. We're basically getting right up to the 886, and look where we ended up finding resistance. That was basically, that must have been a different chart because it actually climbed a little bit higher. But the same point is made. Basically, we got into that Stuber fib pocket and instantly got a rejection. So then when I zoom into, the 4 hour chart, is after several weeks, we finally lost that higher low structure, just like I was talking about on the weekly with Bitcoin. Yeah, maybe it's micro analyzing, but we did have this high here and we did break above it. If we're going by candle body closes, we did break above that. If we're not going by candle body closes, we have a bit of a swing fail here. I mean, there's just a couple of red flags there, and we flipped that this little support box here into resistance so perfectly. On top of that, the RSI, see, it's not so much that I was looking at this as overbought, but the fact that we got a divergence on the RSI back into regular territory, getting that divergence, falling out of that very strong momentum, that very overbought, overextended, however you want to look at it. I look at it as a lot of strength. We lost that. And at that point, we lose that structure. We flip that support into resistance. So, unfortunately, you guys, yeah, you know what? It's absolutely possible. I mean, there's a ton of FOMO around XRP right now. Maybe support gets bought right up, maybe from this level here, who knows? We are technically at another support level, because on the way up, it's done a good job of building support. The only thing is, this is the first time it lost that higher low structure. Back here, technically it did. It happened back here, and the pullback was nothing too serious. So that's again why I'm saying, maybe it is nothing to be concerned about, but just the fact that that's a weekly Stuber level, we're losing support levels on the 4 hour. We really haven't lost a level like that since back here. And this was kind of the one-off, here, this is not losing a higher low, not losing a higher low, not losing a higher low. It really never happened since down here, the start of November. So over a month ago, we just have a series of higher lows and higher highs. Not once did that structure change. This had never changed. This was the first time that this changed here, and it was just the one fake out, and it carried on to the upside. So yes, it's possible that this one fakes out as well. Just understand that this is the second time on this trend in about 5 or 6 weeks that we've even seen this happen on the 4 hours. So that correction could get quite violent. I know it's not, a lot of people don't want to accept the fact that there could be a significant pullback, because do you know how upset people are going to be if they round trip this again? Because there's a lot of people holding XRP who are basically at break even now after about 5 years or so. It's hard for them to grasp that, yeah, after another parabolic move starts, maybe that 5x was all it had in the tank. And I say all it had in the tank, but that, it's had a huge move already. That's the thing. It's not so much, yes, it has strong momentum on its side, but the breakout happened way down here. And since that breakout, even if we go on the daily, it'll be more obvious. Going back to where we broke this level, what kind of a percentage gain did we end up getting? We end up getting a 400% move, straight moonshot right into my macro weekly Stuber fibs. You guys know that I will short this every time I see it on the 1 minute or the 5 minute. The weekly, I don't really treat it any differently, and that's why I've been scalping shorts on XRP the last couple of days. That's more, even though I'm bullish on the market right now, most of my leverage trading has been shorting XRP. Even right now, I'm in a bit of a short from this blue line here. Stop loss is at this orange line. This is scalping. This is just the 1 minute chart here. I did close half my position here because I had the trend master out. we reclaimed that sell signal. So I just just in case, before I started this started this recording, I took half my profits since it is just a scalp. But I'm going to leave some run because you know what? All the reasons mentioned on XRP, I think a lot of people are going to round trip this thing again. And that's not to say that its cycle is over or anything like that. I'm just saying it's very natural for price action to correct when it hits certain resistance levels. And even if this is going to hit my first target of the 0.5 fib, I mean, what would that be from where we topped out? That's a 37% correction. If we end up getting the full Stuber target, that's a 70% correction to the downside. Do you know how many people refuse to take profits on the way up, period, because they think everyone wants to hit a home run trade? And there's people who, if the price comes back down to $1, are going to be very upset, even though that would be totally natural price action. So just something to watch out for there. It's not so much that I'm super bearish on it. It's just that I'm looking at this realistically from a chart's point of view. If this was a 5-minute chart, I would have shorted that level. That's all I'm saying. So that's kind of what I've been doing and why I've been scalping the downside on XRP. MDXL go Trendmaster. We still have sell signals trending to the downside. Yeah, you know what? I'm comfortable just holding on stop losses and a small profit on the second half of my position. I can just let it run for now. Throughout the evening, I'm going to update my stop loss and pay myself as we go. But that's kind of what I'm looking at for now. Okay, guys, now I want to go into the other side of things. You know, when I was talking about XRP here and having this breakout, and you know, this is much more like, yes, the way I'm looking at this, even if XRP continues, I'm not willing to FOMO into resistance. I'm considering this a lost trade, or not a lost trade, a missed trade. So rather than me FOMOing into resistance, I'm just considering it a missed trade because you know what, like I said earlier, the breakout was down here. We were way more so at a flat line of support. I just wasn't interested in XRP, and that's totally fine. Everyone has their own coins they're watching. But I am watching for the same thing on other coins, and one that I have been talking about quite a bit on my streams and pointing them out on other people's streams was Eng. You know, on this daily chart, that's a beautiful, again, we have that nice breakout. So I was more interested in playing something that was more so just breaking out rather than the ones that had already broken out, right? So Eng was one I was looking at. I've pointed it out on many of my streams. Like I said, daily chart breaking out of resistance there, as well as the weekly, just a very strong level of support. And this thing is one of those old coins, and a lot of the old coins from, you know, a market cycle or two ago are kind of having their moment in the sun. So, I mean, Eng is performing beautifully, if you ask me. Beautiful breakout happening. Swarm. I've been talking about this one. I was even pointing out this one on, you know what, I'm not going to try and find it, but Swarm, I was talking about right at this double bottom level. I was saying that, you know, on a weekly time frame like that, that is massive support there. And I mean, just absolutely took off from that level, up about 160% from that double bottom. And it really looks like, again, it's just kind of got that daily structure break, 3 touch points on this resistance. We broke out and we've just been staircasing higher, right? We have a higher high, a new higher high. So we have that structure. We have a new higher low on this trend, right? So as long as we stay above that and keep staircasing, I think that's in a beautiful place as well. And I'm not sure what the market cap is. I know it's quite small compared to a lot of other coins. Speaking of that, Ultra UOS, I know a lot of you guys who watch my streams are probably interested in this, the MDX Algo community. I know a lot of you guys do hold this, and I have been buying this the last week or so as well. Actually, more so just the last couple days, because same thing. We have, well, for one, a fairly low market cap coin. I can't remember what it's at, but we have this beautiful downtrend breaking out on the daily time frame. And again, on the weekly, also just looking at this old resistance back here from when it first launched, basically, just a nice horizontal level of support in general, and kind of the same thing, right? So I'm more interested in the coins that are just starting their move rather than FOMOing in at resistance. And I understand that, you know, coins always look the strongest as they're trading into resistance, just like they always look the weakest when they're trading down at support. But that's where the big moves come from, and that's where your tight invalidation is. So Obviously not financial advice. You do whatever works for you. I'm not a fundamental guy either, so I know a lot of people, when you're looking at more so investments and stuff, you're more so factoring in fundamentals more than I am. I'm just looking at buying coins that I feel like haven't had their move yet, and are just kind of breaking their structure and are near their support levels, stuff like that. I'm more interested in catching those. So that's kind of why I'm more so looking at, Eng, Swarm, Ultra, Trio, tiny market cap. I think it's only like 3 or 4 million or something. Obviously with these ones, you got to be careful. I definitely wouldn't market buy with any size or anything, because trading volume is generally quite low on smaller coins like this. So watch the order books, and in my opinion, use limit orders if you are going to buy it. But it just has this nice uptrend. The daily buy trend on the Trendmaster holding. What do we got here? Even if we drop down, we have this Stuber fib setup. Notice that this indicator automatically sets Stuber fibs for me. Absolutely beautiful. But yeah, basically if we end up dropping down towards these levels, again, I'm just looking at dip buying things rather than, buying them after they've already ripped. So Trio is another one that I'm interested in. And if I bring up the Trendmaster on the 4-hour, you can see we also have this nice, beautiful uptrend of higher trending buy signals and higher trending sell signals, which is something that I often look for when I'm looking to spot buy things. And the fact that we're holding the trend here, I mean, it looks good to me. So being it's low market cap, like I said, that's something that I also dip my toes into a little bit. I don't see why we wouldn't kind of fill this wick, or at least very close to. Actually, just out of curiosity, pull a random fib here. I see no reason why we wouldn't end up hitting about $4 at this point, but honestly, it's such a low market cap, and if it gains any steam, I think that there's huge potential there, so we'll have to see with that. So anyways, guys, I think that's about all I wanted to go over. Nice. The XRP short's still running for now. Yeah, I think that's about all I wanted to go over. Obviously, none of this financial advice. You do your own research, do what works for you. I'm not much of a fundamental guy. I'm just looking at buying support levels on some altcoins, potentially just starting their move rather than FOMOing into resistance after the moves have already happened. So with that, I'm personally doing most of my trading on Blofin, a no KYC exchange. There should be a link down below for that as well, for those of you who need a new non-KYC exchange or just want a backup in general. They are currently giving my followers, both new and existing accounts that have signed up using my link, special deposit bonus until December 14th. Actually, let me just bring that up for you right here. Yeah, basically they're giving my followers a special deposit bonus until December 14th. So the link is down below for that as well, if you wish to take advantage of that. I have also maxed out the trading fees cashback, so you'd also get 20% of your trading fees back into your funding account when using my link with Blofin as well. So with that, I'm out. Stay safe, my friends. Peace.